Saturday haul for you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with an order that I placed off of Ulta. They had a 20% off coupon that was going around recently. It wasn't valid on prestige items, but it was on like drugstore stuff and some hair stuff. So I needed another one of these conditioning mists, and this is from AG Hair Care. It's a detangling spray with moisture in it. This is a product that I've been using for quite a while on my hair. I know you can't really tell on camera, but I have really long hair. So I like to spray this right out of the shower in my hair, and then I use kind of an oil over the top of it. But I really like this stuff. It helps to comb out my hair and it just makes it feel really nice. So that's from AG Hair Care. This is a repurchase. It's the conditioning mist moisture. I also stocked up on another one of the Differin gels with adapalene, the 0.1% acne treatment. This is the 1.6 ounce bottle. I use this every single night mixed with the Paula's Choice 2% benzoyl peroxide, and it just really does wonders for my skin for keeping acne and stuff like that at bay and kind of doing a nice topical exfoliant on my skin. I've been using this for a really long time as well, and I love that it's now available in like drugstores and stuff like that because it used to be prescription only. I also stocked up on these Covergirl Easy Breezy Brow Volumizing Brow Gels. I got two in the shade medium, and then I got one in the shade deep. More recently, I've been using some of the deep in my brows. I haven't gotten my hair done in a really long time. I'm supposed to go at the end of September. I was finally able to get in an appointment. The gal that has done my hair for years isn't able to be around like peroxide and stuff like that, so she referred me to another gal, so I'm really excited to get my hair done. We got quite a bit of rootage going on, but that's besides the point. So I've been using the deep version mixed in with the medium to kind of match my brows to the roots of my hair because it's quite dark now. And I take just this deep shade. I'll show you the one I've been using. It's this shade right here, and I just coat a light coating over both of the brows, and then I just go over it with the medium shade here. And it kind of is my perfect hair color for my brows, and I love this Covergirl Easy Breezy Brow. I've been through so many of these, and these are the only products that I have in my brows. I think that they coat the brows really nicely, give them nice volume, and I've really been into kind of the more fluffy brow, and these just do a really good job, and they don't break my eyebrows out. So I love this Covergirl Easy Breezy Brow. And then I purchased two of these exact eyeliners, and this is from like another version of Revolution. It's like the XX or something like that, Pro something. But this is a newer brand in the Revolution line, and these ones are the gel eyeliners. And when I read about them, they're supposed to be highly pigmented and hold your liner in place, life-proof formula. So I was like, these are going to be great for the waterline. I've been having a hard time finding the Givenchy Kohl Couture liner in Jade, and I'm kind of freaking out a little bit that they're discontinuing this, and I almost want to cry because this has been my favorite eyeliner for the waterline for such a long time. It doesn't irritate my eyes, it stays really well. It's just a really pretty shade of green. So I've been trying to find an alternative in case I just really can't buy any more of these liners, and they are discontinuing it. So anyway, I thought to try these ones here because they're supposed to be waterproof and stuff like that, and these have like zero they have like zero staying power. I'm like, what in the universe? So it's XX Revolution Exact Eyeliner Pencil. I got two shades. They are Camo and Blazer. Camo is the green one here, and this one's got shimmers in it. I don't feel like they glide on super nice either, and it's not very rich. But I'll leave that there for a minute and show you guys how easy these just wipe away. So I'm kind of sad about that, and I really love the color. What do I call it? Blazer? Yeah, this Blazer shade in blue is so pretty. It's just a really deep kind of royal blue shade, but they have no staying power. So I'm really sad about that. And the packaging is really nice. It's got a nice weight to it. I'm just gonna let those sit there for a minute, and then I'll show you how easy they wipe off my hand here. I did try them on the waterline, like they just don't last for me. But Buxom came out with some more of their full force plumping lipsticks, and I really love the formulation. They came out with like 5 new 90s nude shades, and I got the shade Heartthrob, and there's another shade I want to get. I was hoping that I could get a better idea of the color before I ordered it because I didn't want it to be too dark, but I really love this shade. Again, this is the one in Heartthrob. These feel and look so pretty on the lips. They do have a slight tingling sensation. It's very mild, but it might come from a little bit of peppermint, but I find that these smell more like a vanilla scent than they do a peppermint, but I know people like to know if that's in there. It's got an embossing of lips around the tube. This is the lipstick that I have on today, and I really love this Full Force formulation. So glad that they came out with more shades. I've got, I think, 4 other ones, 2 of a nude shade that I wear quite a bit. But this one again is in Heartthrob, and I just love it. I'm probably going to end up ordering that other shade too, but isn't that pretty? Nice glossiness to it. They feel really nice on the lips. They smell nice. They do have that, like I said, that slight plumping sensation, but it's very mild in my opinion. Let's go ahead and wipe these for a minute. I'm pretty sad about that. And then I got this Revolution Pro Luster Highlighter, and I got the shade White Rose. I believe there are 3 or 4 shades of this available. This is the compact. There's 0.31 ounces or 9 grams of product, which is a pretty decent amount. And this is the highlighter that I have on my face today. It's very similar to the highlighter that's in the Sculpt and Glow. I find that this one is a little bit more shiny than the one in the Sculpt and Glow, and I really love the highlighter in that duo as well, which I'll compare them in a minute. But I really like this a lot. It's super, super pretty, and the price ain't bad. It's a little bit thicker of a formula, and it doesn't have quite as much translucency as some highlighters do. It's kind of opaque, very metallic, but I live for that type of highlighter, so that one is in White Rose, and the duo I'm talking about is the Sculpt and Glow Contour and Highlight Palette in Sands of Time. This is the second one of these that I've been through. I typically use the bronzer with the highlighter, but I use more bronzer than the highlighter, even though I've hit pan on this guy too. So let's swatch them next to each other. They're very similar, but the single has got a little bit more shine to it. And I love both of them. I love this bronzer too, obviously. I also got this Revolution Pro Ultimate Eye Look palette in Hidden Jewels, which is the purple version. And this has got kind of that little rock top, kind of like the one that Tarte did a while back. And there are 4 shades in here that are 0.02 ounces a piece, which isn't a ton of product that you're getting. So here are the shades. There's kind of one really shiny shade, and then I would call like these shades kind of like satins. And it's an okay formula. Like there's some pretty purples and stuff like that, but there's nothing super unique about them. I was kind of looking at the green one, but I don't know if I'll pick up any more of these. But those are the swatches right there, and that's the Ultimate Eye Look palette in Hidden Jewels right there. I was really hopeful for this lighter purple, like lilac, to be super shimmery, but it was initially kind of an overspray over the top. And then Nobla Cosmetics came out with some more of their skin glazing, skin finish glow powders, and also sun-kissed effect bronzing powders. So I got one that's a blush shade for me, and then one that's a bronzer shade. The blush shade that I got is Lola, and this is a baked gelée formula, which I absolutely love the finish of a product like this on the skin. So this one's Lola. And I have one other shade that's a blush shade on me that was like one of my favorite blushes since I've gotten it, which I'll swatch the two together. This one's a little bit deeper of a coral. So that's the shade Lola. And this is actually the blush that I have on my cheeks today. It's just super pretty. This is the other one that I have that I've used an absolute ton. And this is the shade Truth. This is one of their original launches. So you can see it's a bit lighter. This one's a little bit more rich. Right there. So that's Truth and that's Lola, and I love both of them. There's another one I may end up picking up at some point. And then the bronzer shade I got is Soft Revenge, and it was the second to the lightest one. The lightest one looked a little bit too orange for my liking. I don't like a super warm bronzer typically, and so I went with this one, and it's quite a bit darker than I thought it would be. And there's 2 additional shades that are darker than this guy, so if you're having a hard time finding a deep enough bronzer, it might be worth it to try these Nobla ones, because this one here is pretty deep, but there's 2 other deeper shades than this one. So this is Soft Revenge, and this is the bronzer that I have on my skin today. I had to use a less dense brush, like something more fluffy, so that I didn't get it too deep on my skin. I do like the tone of it, but it is pretty dark for my skin tone. But it is a, you know, it's a pretty shade of bronze. So that one is the Skin Bronzing Sun-Kissed Effect Bronzing Powder in Soft Revenge, right there. And then I purchased 3 eyeshadow palettes. This first one is the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes eyeshadow palette. This came out maybe a couple weeks ago or so, and I just saw that they recently came out with a little bundle with a 6-pan one too, which I've kind of been eyeing, but I think that maybe the shades in that one could be the same in this one, so we'll see. But there's 12 shadows in here that are 0.03 ounces per shade, which isn't, again, a ton of product that you're getting there, and not, especially for kind of the size of the palette, I would expect some more product. But this is the box right here. It's very pretty. The actual packaging is really pretty as well. It's like a raised kind of textured gem kind of deal situation going on there. It does come with a double-ended synthetic brush, which I typically don't use those. And then there are 4 matte eyeshadows, which are the 2 and the 2 on the outside. So these 2 and then these 2. And then you got the 8 in the middle that are like the gemstones. These, I don't know how you can, if you can see, but these kind of have that slight bit of creaminess to it, like you can push on them, and they're kind of putty like ish. They're like putty powder hybrid, and so I found that they were a little bit more difficult to pick up on a brush, but on the lid they're a very pretty sparkly shadow. They almost remind me of the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill shadows, not the ones that they came out with like 2 years ago, but the old school ones that have that double pigment in there. They kind of remind me of those in terms of the finish that they give, and they each have like, you know, two or three different colors in them, and I do feel like you can kind of see that on the lid, and they end up being very pretty. They're just a little bit something to work with a brush. So let me swatch the mattes here, and the mattes are nice, but they're a little bit more to work with for me to blend out. But I do like the array of shades that they put in there, the deeper kind of mid-tone and a lighter one. And they do work, but I have to blend a little bit more with them than some other shadows. So those are the 4 matte shades right there. And then we'll do these shades. They are very pretty. Like just a really pretty sparkle in them. See? Oh, I live for that sparkle. Oh. So those are the first 4 on the top. And then here are the 4 on the bottom. This one is so pretty. So I am glad that I picked it up. I wasn't sure what to expect because Urban Decay can be sometimes hit or miss for me, but those are the swatches right there of the Urban Decay, what's it officially called? Stoned Vibes eyeshadow palette. Right there. The first 4 are the mattes, and then the 8 kind of gemstone shades there. I also picked up the new Too Faced Pumpkin Spice limited edition warm and spicy eyeshadow palette. Right here, there are, how many shades do we have in here? 6 times 3, 18. 18 shades that are 0.024 ounces per shade. Again, not a ton of product that you're getting, but you are getting 18 eyeshadows in here. And I've worn this a few times, but I haven't used every single shade in here. But so far, so good. I've been enjoying this palette. Some of the shimmer shades are a little bit stiffer, like you have to kind of grind your brush in there to pick them up, but they do end up being very pretty on the lid. And I'm very impressed with the matte eyeshadows in here. I love the color combinations. If I were to change just one thing in this palette, I would have included a little bit lighter shimmer, because everything on my skin tone is like kind of mid-tone or deeper in terms of the shimmers. When I use this by itself, I use this shade right here kind of on the inner portion, and that's a matte, and typically I like to put a shimmer there. But so that would be the only thing if I could change something for my personal preference. But otherwise, really been enjoying this guy. Again, some very pretty matte shades in there. There's actually more mattes in here than there are shimmers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 matte eyeshadows and 6 kind of shimmer shades. So I'm going to swatch all of this for you guys. But I was really happy with, especially, the shimmers are pretty, but like I said, some of them are a little bit stiff. But I was really happy with these matte shadows. There's the first 4. And then these next guys. Like, I really like this shade and that yellowy kind of shade. Oh, I think I clawed one. Oh, this does have a slight spicy scent to it, which I was a little concerned, like hoping there wasn't no like cayenne peppery type or like some, you know, that gives you that smell, cinnamon or anything in it that would irritate my eyes. They haven't been irritated, but they do have that scent to it. On the ingredients, it says parfum, and then it says cinnamon, which I don't know if that's maybe a cinnamon or not, which doesn't sound very appealing for the eyes. If you have super, super sensitive eyes, that's something to make note of. But like I said, I've worn it and I haven't had any issues with irritation on my eyes when I have used it. And these next four. And then these guys. And then I'll show it too next to the gingerbread ones and stuff. Like, real good variety. Like, these are kind of purpley cool tones, and you got some warm tones, some kind of greeny shades in there. And then these last two purples. Right there. So those are all the shades right there. And then I have the gingerbread spice palette on top and the pumpkin spice on the bottom. And then here is the gingerbread extra spicy on top, which I love that palette. I love the other one too. And the pumpkin spice on the bottom. I don't think I showed you guys the packaging, but it's that tin type of packaging. And this one says pumpkin spice on it. Love that they print the names on the inside as well. So that's the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice eyeshadow palette, and I quite like it. Like I said, I just changed that one thing if I could with a lighter shimmer, but otherwise pretty nice. And then the last palette that I purchased at Ulta is the new Nars Extreme Effects eyeshadow palette. This one has got 0.04 ounces per shade, and there are 12 shades in it. Packaging is kind of interesting. It's like got a little bit of texture going on there, but otherwise it's kind of that black Nars packaging. This really surprised me. This is the eyeshadow palette that I have on my eyes today, and this is, I feel that this is a brand new formula for Nars. Like, they kind of went with some that had too much silicones that were a little bit stiffer and stuff like that, but this to me feels like a brand new fabulous formula from Nars. I was so surprised at how soft, buttery, pigmented, and well these shadows worked. Hopefully you can see that through the swatches. So I was pleasantly surprised, and I hope Nars sticks with this formula because it is a really pretty formula. Very buttery, creamy, pigmented, easy to work with. I really enjoyed it. Let's give you some swatches. We'll do these shimmers. They're so soft and they're so pretty. I was just like, wow. Then we'll go with these four shimmers. Right there. You can kind of see just how smooth they look. And then we'll do these four mattes. This matte shade I thought originally would be a brow bone highlight for me, but it does deepen a bit on my skin. So I would probably use kind of this shimmer underneath the brow. But these two, very, very smooth. Oh. So those are the mattes, and those are the shimmers, and I'm totally happy with this palette. Right there, it's the Extreme Effects eyeshadow palette from Nars. right there. Nothing revolutionary in terms of the shade colors, but the formula is very pretty. And then I placed an order on the Sephora website. I really wanted to try this new eye cream from Youth to the People. It's called the Dream Eye Cream with Goji Stem Cell Ceramides, Vitamin C, and Hyaluronic Acid. It's called an overnight eye cream. So you get a ½ ounce of product right there. And I tried the first eye cream that they came out with, and it's nice, but it's a little bit too light of a formulation for my drier skin around my eyes. This one is pretty thick. So how I've been using it is almost like an overnight eye mask. So I put on my First Aid Beauty retinol, just a pea-size amount of that, and then I go over that with the Neo Cutis, which has some more different property things that I love that one. It's very moisturizing as well. And then I dab this over the top kind of to seal everything in. And I've really been enjoying that combination. I haven't tried this guy by itself just yet, and I probably won't because I like to use my retinol and my other kind of eye cream treatment products and then seal it with a really moisturizing product. So that's how I'm going to continue to use it. But it feels almost silicone-y, but I know it's not like silicone, so I think it might be the shea butter in here because that is the 4th ingredient. But this is the cream right here. It doesn't really have a smell at all, but it's a pretty thick formula. I'm not going to stick my hands in the pot, but so far so good. In terms of using it as like an overnight eye mask, I've been loving it like that. And then I also got another one of the Milk Kush lip balms, and this one is the shade Shine from their Milk Makeup and the Center collaboration, where they give 100% of the net proceeds of the balm to the center, is what it says on here. So I got another one of these because I've been wearing this a lot. I just throw it in my pocket, and it looks like a white balm, but it actually has a whole bunch of multi-dimensional sparkles in there, and then that white kind of lightens on the lip as well. And I really like it to throw on my lips. I think it makes it look really kind of luscious and stuff like that. If you don't like sparkles, like a lot of pinky multi-dimensional sparkles on your lips, you probably will not like this, but I've really been enjoying it, and I know it's a limited edition product, so I got another one of those. And these do smell like a little bit of peppermint, but they taste more like kind of sweet. They do have a sweet taste and a slight peppermint fragrance to them, but I really enjoy this for just throwing on my lips. And then lastly, Jill Stuart sent the eyeshadow palette from their 15th anniversary collection that I had ordered that didn't end up being in my box when I got the order. And that's in 06 or 0990? No, it'd be 06 Marigold Cappuccino. This is the pretty box packaging for the 15th anniversary. And I bought these off of the Jill Stuart website. I'm hoping that Beautylish will get the collection in soon because these are just stunning. This is the packaging is so pretty. All of these have a shimmer to them. There's something just very pretty about the shimmers in this palette. They're not like overdone or anything like that. I feel like they're kind of a sophisticated shadow. But if you're looking for like ultra shine, ultra, you know, intense, this is not going to be the shadow. But I like these for what they are. It does have a little bit of a scent of rose in there as well. But everything's got a shimmer or a shine to it. And then I'll show it next to the other one too, so you can see them next to each other. But just very soft, pretty eyeshadows. That's the Marigold Cappuccino swatched right there. And then here is the New York Magnolia with the pinks next to the Marigold Cappuccino. So you can see that the New York Magnolia is much more pink, and the Marigold Cappuccino is kind of a peachy, warm toned one right there. You can see my camera and stuff. And that's everything for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.